This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the planning and zoning for June 3rd, 2024. My name is Warren Carlson, and I'm happy to be the chairman of the commission. We have a relatively short agenda tonight, but important. And before we get going, let me introduce our staff. Andy Pelopoulos, out to my extreme right, is our town engineer. Next to him is Alan Frederickson, our town engineer. Our town land use administrator, excuse me. To my left is Catania, our court reporter. Next to her is Christine Hilton, is our staff secretary. From that,
I'm Ken Quick, regular member.
Rod Williams, regular member.
Paul Wyman, Vice Chair.
Brian Cummings, Secretary. Mark Parisi, alternate.
okay, we have, Alan, we have two alternates not here tonight. We have,
John is not here, and Katie, Carrie is not here.
I did hear from
So,
Terry, but I did not hear from John.
I didn't hear from John, but I've marked him NP, not present.
Okay, okay, not present, good enough. Okay, with that being said, we'll get started here. Let me get to, Alan, is there any changes to the agenda?
There are two changes. Item number one, P2403, in regards to 400 Valley Service Road, has been withdrawn by the applicant. They will be resubmitting, but they're retooling the plan a little bit for wetlands, and then they'll be back. And item number two, P2408, in regards to 47 Middletown Avenue, has been postponed to hopefully next meeting. They have a very small wetlands identification there on the property, so we're gonna work that out, and hopefully they'll be on for July 1.
Okay, good enough, that's it?
Yes, I believe that's it.
Okay, very good. Well, with that, before we get started here, we have some site plans, and anything that is approved tonight in any of this is automatically, doesn't have to be said any further than this, that our town engineer and the land use administrator remarks are included in the approval. So with that being said, let's go on. Secretary Brian.
Okay, very good.
Reading in the second and third.
Okay, this is number 3 on the agenda. It's number P2409. Site plan application of Sammy Jamil, applicant, North Haven Gas Realty LLC, owner relative to 102 Middletown Avenue, map 6, lot 19, plan entitled Proposed Convenience Store and Retail Fueling Facility, 102 Middletown Avenue, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Benish, dated May 3rd, 2024, scale 1 inch equals 10 feet, CB20 zoning district.
Okay, thank you. Brian, you want to step forward, gentlemen?
Chair?
Yeah,
You might want
you don't have to speak into that. Okay. That's just your.
Can you?
Yeah, but can you hear it on the table?
I can hear, but when he gets up, he needs to get up.
Yeah, okay.
Please.
Can you
You
move
got
that?
that?
Yes, I can get up. Mr. Chairman, can you move that a little bit so the assembly can see it?
Oh, it's the site plan.
I also have some small size copies if you guys would like to look at those as well.
Yeah, excuse me.
They've all been given a full-size copy,
Yeah,
so
can you just tilt that just a little bit so the audience can see that? Oh, not- That's good, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you. Brian?
Good Good evening, members of the Planning and Zoning Commission of North Haven, Connecticut. My name is Greg Lockcheek. I'm representing Benish, and we are working with QAM Architects. This is,
Can you just spell your name perhaps for the record?
yep, my name is spelled Greg, G-R-E-G, L-A-C-H-C-I-K, Lockcheek.
Thank you.
And we are representing Sammy Jamal, the owner of North Haven Gas LLC. So we're going to be presenting a small little parcel here located on 102 Middletown Ave, and that is abutting Quinnipiac Avenue, which is Connecticut Route 103. The small project we are proposing is currently a dilapidated bituminous lot with a small, about 2,900 square foot building. We're going to be taking that down, picking the site slightly up, but mostly holding the existing topography of the site as it lies. We're proposing to strip all of the existing curbing, bituminous pavement, and concrete pads that are located on the site, as well as the building. Once all that's cleared out, and we already had our erosion controls established, we're going to be resetting two new driveways on the site, getting rid of the two existing ones and bringing two new ones in. And we're currently going through permitting with CTDOT to make sure that gets paid for our encroachment permit as well as our site drainage. So the subject parcel is about 0.36 acres and located in a CB20 zone. And essentially, this is pretty much the only use that we can think of for this parcel. There's not too many options with a very limited site, and there's not even quite enough room for parking. So we will be seeking approval on the slightly lowered parking count and hoping to receive credits for the 6 fueling stations that we're going to be having. There's 3 sump pumps, and going to have a pump right next, a tank right there. That's going to have your super, your regular, and your premium. The existing topography is about 1% from southeast to northwest, with flow being directed mostly all into Quinnipiac Avenue, and that's why we're diverting all of our site flow out towards that direction to maintain drainage patterns. The whole site is classified as urban soils, doesn't have great drainage characteristics, and we're not proposing any infiltration. We're reducing the amount of total impervious that's currently located on site, and that's how we're going to be achieving our reduced peak flows. We're proposing about 3 drainage structures that are going to feed out to a manhole located in Middletown Ave. I'll switch over to my drainage plan here. We're gonna have a 72 by 22. Okay. We're going to have a 77 by 22 foot canopy. It's going to be the fueling station and a 2,200 square foot building. That'll all be serviced by roof leaders that'll collect all the storm drainage from those structures. Traffic is not as much of a problem as someone might expect from a weird corner lot like this. The Connecticut Department of Transportation has agreed that these fueling and convenience station facilities have about a 55% drive-through rating, meaning that it's not generating any new traffic, or not any new traffic, but a reduced amount of new traffic, and most of the vehicles that are commuting through and around the site are already going to be on the road anyway. As far as the site goes, it's very simple. There's not too much going on. We ran traffic movements for an SU-30, a small box truck, a WD-50, which is the second largest standard tractor trailer, a fueling tanker, as well as emergency services. We're providing water quality using water quality flow, since there's no volume that we had here. All of our flow will go through a water quality unit or hydrodynamic separator. Well, that will separate out all the temporary suspended solids. And if the situation were to occur where gas spills over and out over our fueling pad, which would have to be a large spill over 5 gallons at least, then the hydrodynamic separator would still be able to pick that up. And if serviced properly, it would be able to hold up to, I believe, 55 gallons. Sorry, I believe it's 30 gallons of fuels, but I might be wrong on that. So if we want to talk a little bit more about the architecture, Jason, would you like to say anything?
Sure.
For the applicant, Jason Davis. I'm a licensed architect in the state of Connecticut. I'm with QA plus M Architecture, 195 Scott Swamp Road in Farmington. If I talk loud enough, do I need to hold that? Okay, thank you. First thing I did is I think this might be in your packet, is just to refresh everybody. This is a view looking at the existing site from down this way, looking sort of north. This is the existing building that's there. I'm sure a lot of people are probably familiar with it. When the applicant first purchased the property, I went to look at it to see if there's something we could reuse there, and it's sort of like a crime scene. It looks like something out of a horror movie. So I worked with him to try to determine what the minimal square footage was that he could work with to make his business successful. So what we did is we actually cut the footprint down a little bit, and that helped us with the siding of the fueling canopy to reduce what we had applied for as variance on the overhangs. So looking at the same general view, I think this is the same as you have, just a shot at a proposed development. So again, the building will be entirely new. We're not going to save any of that existing building, and this is a view of the fueling station. Obviously, signage would be under separate approvals. And then I'm not sure if this is in there, but I just have a quick floor plan in case anybody's curious. It is in.
It's in there.
Okay. Very simple. And again, the retail layout and everything will come later. Just very simple. Single entrance, sales counter in the front corner over here. General retail, and then a strip cooler along the back of space. And then your typical utility room, storage room where the service entrance will come in, power, and then a single user toilet room. And then last but not least, the most important thing is the exterior elevations. So taking some other stations the applicant had, specifically one in Cheshire, just your typical New England looking convenience store. I have a mechanical screen, a parapet wall. We're gonna have rooftop equipment, so there won't be any ground mounted equipment, no condensing units. There'll be a package unit that'll be on the roof that'll be screened from view by this parapet wall. And then just some simple materials, some culture stone at the base, make it a little more rugged, stand up. Architectural shingles, and then siding, and then PVC trim around, typical commercial storefront with lots of glass for visibility. And that's pretty much in a nutshell. It's about 2,200 square feet, which is about, I think, 400 less than what's there. So again, we reduced that to the minimal amount that would work for the business to allow them to be successful, and also try to alleviate some of the concerns with the site being so small. Thank you.
Excuse me, 1 second, I just got a couple of questions.
Sure.
What, is that a totally flat roof, or you got a facade in front of that building, or, it doesn't look the same on the lower picture than it does up there.
Correct, so this is like a three-sided mansard roof, so the roof has a slight pitch. This is the back facing,
Okay,
so the back here is essentially open, and then there'll be a gutter to trap the water, and then it'll go into downspouts out. But the front three sides, the front and then the two returns will have a full mansard roof. So when you look at the sides, you'd have to look from the back around the bushes around the other parcel to the northern abutter to be able to see the open piece of the roof. So it's sort of a three-sided bathtub, if you will, to try to screen the equipment.
okay. So is that gonna be one flow of traffic or flat flow from both sides? You're gonna have an exit and entrance on both streets,
Correct.
from both?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct, I believe there was 4 curb cuts previously. We've narrowed it to 2. There's one here and then one here.
You're gonna have 2 curb cuts, correct?
Correct.
There's 2 existing, and we're providing 2 new curb cuts to allow us to achieve our site distances for our DOT encroachment permit.
There's 4 existing.
4, yeah.
Oh, there is 4.
There's 2 very, very close to the intersection here. They are actually seen sort of superimposed, and then the 2 that we have, so we're actually reducing from 4 curb cuts to 2.
I apologize.
Okay.
And we have,
Well, you got a question?
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
it's not clear to me.
Two curb cuts, right? We're going from 4 previously to 2 now. The 2 that were by the intersection were so close to the V, if you will, that,
Is that, did the DOT ask you to do that?
we did it ahead of time because we would assume the DOT wants us to get away from those, that intersection. It's just a better path for
So there
traffic to
won't be
flow.
any in and out traffic there because it'll be closed off. So that was I remember that 35, 40 years ago. That was a gas station back then. And they had the same curb cuts. It was a Texaco station.
This actually does show, so this is the first curve cut, the second, the third, and then the fourth is over here. So this picture, I know this picture is very difficult to see in the dark, it goes with the motif of the building, but there are 4 existing that you can see on that photograph.
Right?
Yeah, when you mentioned, I thought I saw something about diesel. Will we be selling diesel as well as gasoline, or?
Oh, yeah, there is going to be diesel, I misspoke.
There is gonna be, you're gonna have a diesel pump?
Yes.
And, yeah. Let me just get an idea. If I'm looking at that drawing from when I looked at this, on the top half by Quinnipiac Avenue, that's where your tanks are gonna be, correct?
Correct.
And just show me how the tanker gets in and out. And when I say tanker, I'm talking like a 48-foot tanker.
Correct. So we have the 48-foot tanker coming here off of Quinnipiac,
Yeah.
going near the building, and then out right onto Middletown Ave.
So when he drops off the fuel, he's gonna be parking in front of the building?
Likely that I believe he's either going to be parking in front of the building, or he may be able to snake in that way, but I think he'd want to avoid cutting through the canopy. So I believe that he will be parking in front, allowing circulation around the canopy this way.
So there still would be circulation for
Correct.
customers at that point in time?
Yeah, as long as the truck's pulled in far enough where he should be, then there's not going to be any issues with just queuing up into the main state roads.
Typically what he does is he has his deliveries off hours at the most.
Yeah, but
Slow time.
you know, when the tanks are empty, you want the gas. So they're gonna be anytime. So,
Is that it, Rod?
yeah, that's it.
Rod? Well, I got one question, Rod, before you go.
Sure.
If you're gonna have, coming out of that driveway, the way you're showing it there.
Yes.
What are you gonna have for stacking room at the light? When you come out on the Middletown Avenue, I presume that's where you're, yeah, right there. What are you gonna have for stacking there? Are you in the, you know, in the box for the light there or not? It
No.
looks like you're awful close to me.
No, this is the white line. It's shown great back here, and you probably can't see it from there, but he's straightened out and in the lane by the time he's stopped at the stop bar.
The light line is the stop bar?
Yes, the stop bar at the lights.
Yeah, so how many cars would you be able to stack if that were so? If there was a red light and the cars were coming straight down and a car wanted to come on there, how many cars could you stack up before it would block the driveway?
Before it would block the driveway, or would
Yeah.
it block the tanker inside the driveway?
Mhm.
So I believe there could be about 3 or 4 cars in here, but the tanker should pull out, and once the light's green and has space, he shouldn't be blocking the intersection. That's, or not the intersection, but the driveway.
Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my biggest concern was more just the operations. How do you operate the facility, not only with the gas deliveries, but also, you know, product deliveries? You know, you're gonna have a small truck that's gonna come in, and, you know, I just wanna make sure that you guys have thought that stuff through, because that's one of the things that really causes big issues at these types of facilities. And because this is such a small site,
Right.
it's tough to begin with, you know? So I just wanna make sure that you guys have thought that through and have some, you
Yeah.
know,
So there's
and
definitely-
that, you know, and that the owner understands what the operation is gonna be, you know?
Right, and this has been discussed with the owner, with operations such as having the dumpster pad here blocked off by a parking space. We believe that it's gonna be best practice for the worker at the gas station to be parking there, so when that needs to get taken out, he can move his car.
Okay.
And we hope to have all deliveries at the front here, so that we still have the bypass lane. And if the truck were to pull in here for their deliveries, they'd also be able to just go around right by the building canopy as well.
It's gonna be a tough site to work when there's a truck there, there's no question about it.
That-
You know,
that's-
and I'm sure it could work, but it's not gonna be easy.
That's true, and I can tell you that I did work with the owner at a location, it's at Route 10, I think South Main and Chester, it's another V site very similar to this, so he
Yep.
does have experience with
Okay.
a similar site with constraints like this.
Okay, that certainly helps, yeah.
Okay?
What are the hours of operation? Do you have any idea? Is it 24/7?
I'm not sure.
I'm not aware, we'd have to get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Ron?
There's a note in the engineer's notes about considering one-way circulation on this. Has that been thought about, considered? You guys not concerned about that, or?
So one of the issues I've had in the past with forcing one-way circulation is it creates a lot of issues when people are unfamiliar with the site. That being said, I did not get a chance to discuss that with our traffic engineer, and we will definitely consider that moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a couple other questions. Those two parking spaces that are down at the bottom, down closest to the corner. No, closest to
Oh,
to
sorry.
you. Yeah, right down there. It looks, I think, like there's enough room for someone to be getting gas at that far end and still having those sites or those parking spots accessible. Getting in and out of them is okay. Is that fair to say? Is there enough room there?
I haven't ran a turning movement, but yeah, any commercial passenger vehicle should be able to get out of there up to a large pickup truck.
Okay.
How wide is the canopy?
I believe
Short-
22 feet
Short
wide.
bench? Okay. So it'll be as long as a car anyway. So a car parking at the pump should be mostly under the canopy, and should allow enough room around the
that makes
sides.
You got 22 feet there?
Yeah, for the canopy, yeah.
And these are where the MPDs are. This is the canopy overhang, so
Yep.
it artificially makes it look like it's a little bit tighter than it is.
I see.
When really the island is back here, it's just you're undercover, so that it makes it look like this distance, when it's really this distance here to here.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, I don't understand how these are laid out, but the hydrodynamic separator, does that capture anything coming off of like the pad where the gas is dispensed, or is that a drain?
So-
The catch basin?
The pad will only ever drain if it overfills or if rainwater flows across it and moves off. The idea of the spill trays, I forget what the technical term is, but the little grooves that are in the edge of all the concrete pads at gas stations, that's supposed to hold about 5 gallons of gasoline, and the idea would be that if it spills during a rainstorm, then yeah, it's going to end up in our drainage system. But if it spills during a dry period, it's going to all evaporate out before it gets flushed away to our drainage system.
Okay.
And all flow from the site will end up going through our hydrodynamic separator to treat the water.
Okay,
Of
all
any
right.
paved driving surface in the building.
Okay, thanks. What about the air? I noticed that the air is at it could be blocked. And you don't have a lot of places to park. Is there any, I don't know if there's anywhere else you could actually put it, but have you given that any thought? If there's a place where it won't be sort of blocked by a car?
I mean, we can look into putting it around the perimeter of the property, but it's difficult because that's right on the right of way for the DOT property. And they're requiring us to put a sidewalk in around the whole site as well.
Okay.
We can look into that as well, though.
Okay. The last question, it's not really a question, it's just an observation I had. It seems like if you guys are getting a lot of foot traffic, this is a spot where no one's gonna be able to get there because there aren't really sidewalks that go there, and there's a crosswalk south, but it doesn't like allow access. You anticipate most of the access or people using the convenience store, if they're not going to get gas in a car, to be car traffic anyway, right? So
Correct.
that, again, I don't know if there's a solution to it, but it was just something I noticed, because there just aren't sidewalks on that side, but maybe that's okay.
Yeah, I did look at the crosswalks myself, and it just isn't an easy way
Yeah.
to make this fit into the crosswalks that are out there right now. And the DOT just redid one of those crosswalks, so,
Okay.
at the town's request, because there was concerns and issues, so, yeah.
All right, just observation. Thanks, that's all I have.
How many cars do you have parked or parking for the convenience store, other than the pumps, where the pumps are?
There's 9 parking spaces.
What is the number? It looks like you have 3 pumps, double-sided.
Yes,
So you're gonna have credit for 6 spaces is what you're looking for
yes.
on this, okay?
To a point, they're looking for credit for 2 spaces because it would require 11. They have 9.
Okay. So that's, yeah.
Yes.
1 second, Rack.
Where I thought I saw 7 spots. Where are there 2 like along the side somewhere?
There's the 2 down here, there's 3 here, and then 1 that's kind of tucked in, as well as your ADA space, and then 2 more tight spaces
Okay.
here. The pipe sort of blocks this one, but that is a full-size standard
Gotcha.
space.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm good.
I think I'm good. Yeah, it seems like a really creative use and a tight spot, and probably the the best layout we're gonna be able to have proposed to us. And that, the air concern, I think, is valid, but I think that's a limited use case if that's necessary. But I'm good. I have no further questions.
No question.
Mark?
No, good.
Okay, good. Al?
Yes, I had just a comment about trees, and it seemed to me if we can get a couple of trees out on the point there on either side. I do acknowledge that there are trees proposed. Our regs state that they should be at the ends of those rows.
Right.
I think probably it would work out a little better doing it that way. Are you folks willing to make that change?
Yes.
Or-
Andy?
Yeah, most of the rest of my comments are more just sort of drafting things, clean the drawings up a little bit, makes things a little bit clearer. I like the drawings to be very clear so that, so everybody knows what it is that you're doing, And I've had many situations where I've gone out in the field and find that they're not building it the way it's shown on the plans because they don't understand the plans. So, so a lot of my other comments have to do with more just kind of clearing things up. Let's see, talked about the trees, curbing, light intrusion. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I'm happy to work with you if the commission decides to grant the application. I'm happy to work with you guys in terms of cleaning the drawings up a little bit.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we have no objection to the comments from yourself and, both the engineer and the planner comments.
So Jason, you're an architect,
Correct.
right? And Greg, you're engineer,
I'm a civil engineer.
but you're not a traffic engineer.
No, I'm not a traffic engineer. And I'm not yet licensed, but working under Ryan Scritora.
Okay. Andy, you got it enough?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Joe?
I'm
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen,
I'm in a good place right now. Yeah, I see it right down there.
They intended to deliberate tonight if you want to stick around, or you can just call in the morning.
I'll stick around. Jason, you can get out of here. Works, always the awkward part.
okay, Brian,
Okay,
we have number 4.
okay, this is number 4. This is number P2410. Site plan application of Pat Munger Construction Company Incorporated, applicant SKF North Haven LLC, owner relative to 101 Washington Avenue, map 73, lot 7. Plan entitled Proposed Site Layout and Exterior Refresh for Broad Peak Properties, Edible Arrangements, 101 Washington Avenue, North Haven, Connecticut, 06473, prepared by Gary and Greenlack, PE, dated 5/8/24, scale 1 inch equals 10 feet, CA20 zoning district.
Okay, gentlemen, all yours.
Thank you. Good evening, I'm Mike Mizaki. I'm with Pat Munger Construction, and this is Gary Vinall. She is also with Pat Munger Construction.
Can you just spell your last name for the record?
Yes, last name is Mozzocchi.
Thank you.
His last name.
It's Vinall.
Thank
Greenalch. The proposed project is to basically freshen up the existing pavement and to add a 12 by 30 patio in the front of the building. We're also looking to do a little repair and paint of the existing facade. There will be, there's an awning that's going to be added, and just try to make it look a little bit nicer. There's no real change to the, there's no change to the structure itself, there's no change to the drainage, no change to topography, and we are just honestly looking to see what we can do to get this approved. We are changing, or we're putting in a new stop sign, I mean, they're stopped now, and a new stop bar at the top and the bottom of the entrances and exits. And really, and we want to move the dumpster location a little bit further away from the building. We put it in the back corner, but that's subject to moving. They need a little more space. Sorry.
Good evening. May I have your attention, please? The North Haven Library will be closing in 30 minutes. Public computers, copiers, and Wi-Fi will be shutting down in 15 minutes. All purchases from the bookstore and cafe, along with library card applications, must be completed by 7:45. Thank you.
Okay, they're looking just, again, our existing dumpster pad right now is here, and we moved it, enlarged it, moved it all the way to the back corner. We just really need to move it back here, because there's an existing door here to get in and out, so it's just better for loading of the product to get into the building. So this kind of gets in the way, that's why they just want to move that up. Other than that, we did get the comments Friday afternoon that we were looking at today, and it does seem like there are some revisions that Mr. Bevilacqua would like to see, which are very well warranted. We do get a pinch point with adding the 12-foot patio. Point it out again.
Yeah, who drew your plan up for you? This plan?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you
So-
can finish up, and maybe you can get up there. Tell us what you're doing.
Sure. Okay, so, well, again, I'm essentially done. We just are doing our striping in and out. Stop bar here, stop sign. Dumpster enclosure. And again, the patio is right here, and then we have to rework the parking on this side and lose a space. And
I really can't see anything. Hang on a little bit more toward us.
It's got it has a glare the way.
So
it is.
the light's
Yeah,
coming
it's
in
the-
the blinds.
The lines.
All right, should be better now. So the patio that we're looking to put in is here, 12 feet this way, and across the face of the building, which is 30 feet. Again, dumpster enclosure right now is here. We're looking to push it back to, just push it back. It doesn't need to be here. We pushed it all the way back to maximize the parking, but it doesn't really need to be. The parking required is 9 spots. And we have 20 shown, but we do know that based on this pinch point that Andy pointed out, we're going to lose, we're gonna have to lose this spot here and this spot here, I believe.
There's an island there, isn't
There's an island right here,
there?
yeah, that
Yeah.
would
Yeah, so
come
that would
out.
have to come out in order for traffic
Yes.
to go both ways. You need what, 20?
24.
24 is what I like to see. I mean, you can do a little bit less than that, but, you know, it's got to be wide enough to be able to get 2 vehicles through there safely.
Well, you can see in the building, somebody already clipped the building.
Yeah, the building's right there.
It's already been hit there, but let him explain, I guess, that you're gonna explain? Sure. Why you did it like this?
Well, yeah.
Hey, Gary, if you could just hold that handheld mic, might help them pick up your voice. It doesn't amplify, but helps record.
Okay, and this is a whole easel, that's good. Perfect.
Yeah, we were basically instructed to try to keep the changes to the parking areas and everything at a minimal figure and, you know, line change it if it still works. Adding on to this definitely caused a problem here, which we're figuring that something would have to go, like this parking space over here. I didn't even really count it as a space because it's basically a half a space. So we're definitely planning to do a little bit of modifying the parking spaces, seeing that we only really need 9, or, and we got basically double that. So we have some room to do some things. We had also talked about trying to dress up the front a little bit more, fixing up some islands and everything. I believe the reason they want to have a nice little thing here with some basically gardening baskets around, so somebody can come out there and sit and have a nice thing, and I think they want to have the whole area kind of look nice. So this plan doesn't quite reflect that as well as we'd like it to, but yeah, I think we tried to fix up the island down here, fix it up here, and then basically redo this island and reshape it to give like a landscaped island at the end of the parking there. And that way we can get a tree or two in there and kind of dress up the whole front of the building. The dumpster, they were asked to move it way back here. It's possible it could have a site interference being that far back, so I'm not opposed to moving it up closer. But like I said, we'd like to have better access to the back of the building for deliveries.
What's the idea to moving the dumpster back there?
What's that?
What's the reasoning to move the dumpster back
Just
there?
to get it away from the back of the building so trucks can actually back into here and unload.
Back into that side?
Back into here, yeah, because this is the door right here to get into the building.
Okay.
Access. So we just want to give it some room. It doesn't need to be as far back as it shows. It's just.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm certainly not too fond of that, but let me ask you, why are you going all the way across with the patio in front to the extreme outside of the building? You're coming out to narrow down with the island there, you're narrowing the passageway so it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think, we're trying to get a decent amount of area. I mean,
Couldn't you hold that back even with the door and then just bring it to the extreme left?
So, again, this was the customer's request, the owner's request. This is what he asked us to do.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like
that's what
putting the planters around it, I mean, they want to have a seating area where you can put a few tables and people can sit and eat and enjoy it for a while. So
Based on the
we're trying to get-
menu that I see there, I don't know, I see some smoothies, maybe some individual fruit portions, if you will, but I was trying to figure out what the use of the patio would be. I don't know, I don't have any objection to if people just wanted to sit there. I don't know, but.
Right.
Let me ask this then, on what you just said, this was originally approved as edible raisins. And, I mean, I didn't know people going in there and sitting down and having food and the Slurpees and whatnot. And now we want to bring seating outside. Did we calculate parking for that at any time?
They did.
Yes.
They did the additional spaces in the parking calc.
It requires 2 additional spaces. It's 360 square feet, and divided by 200, that's 2 spaces.
So the parking now is designed for its soon-to-be use with the.
Yeah, so
extra
the
seating.
parking is, you have more parking than is required per your regulations. You need 7 spots per the square foot of the building. You need 2 for the patio, a total of 9. The existing site has 26, and we're going to lose a few of those. We have 20 right now, but arguably, if we have to increase, if we have to put the islands in, we're gonna lose a couple more spots. We would probably be down to, I'd say conservatively, 17 or 16.
So the parking will match the use?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
One of my questions or comments had to do with the agreement that may or may not exist relative to the neighbor. I looked on the land records. I don't see anything on the land records about that. But lo and behold, when I went to look to create my comments, I saw an application from 2008 that had a comment that there was a lease agreement with the neighbor. Again, it's not recorded. A lot of time has elapsed, let's say, since that time. You do have 3 properties that have had an interesting and tumultuous relationship in terms of parking. The North Haven Shopping Center, if I may, AKA the Luciani Shopping Center, had an agreement with the property next door that's now the Paul Mitchell School or Academy. They've resolved their issues, and there's an area, I don't know, they don't assign a number of spaces, but there's a physical pair of dimensions, a length and a width, that Paul Mitchell Academy is entitled to relative to that lot. That seems to have ironed itself out. This agreement, this property was owned by Ann and Neil Longobardi, who also owns 97 Washington Avenue next door where the Academy is. That's where I got the information that there was an agreement, and I think the agreement was to help out the Academy. I don't think there's an issue with the Academy because of his attorney finding on the land records the commitment for the easement for parking at the adjacent property. So the school, I think, is okay. I don't think there was ever anything on the land records for this, but I think that was there to help out the building next door. There is a surplus of parking. I have no idea what the status of any agreement in terms of anything that's just between 2 parties that is not on the land records would be. Paul Mitchell seems to have worked out their problem.
With Luciani, excuse me.
With the Luciani site, yes.
And Drazen, were they not as well?
Drazen was not.
No, but Luciani
Yes.
was, because they were looking for an easement, my understanding.
And they got it, and they had it, and it's on the land records.
Yeah. Did you check any of the buildings other than this one to see if there's an easement through that?
Yes, I checked 97 Washington, the Paul Mitchell Academy. I checked this. I did not check the gas station next door, which never was in concert with this.
No.
And I think we have a conclusion relative to the Luciani property. They seem to have worked things out, and that easement is unquestionably on the land records and, quote, resolved.
Okay.
So I'm less troubled about the comment, and I threw it in there in hopes that you would come here and tell me all about it and how it was all resolved. I'm dreaming, but, you know.
It's good to have hopes. Everyone said of your hopes and your dreams, but unfortunately, I did talk to the owner, and he researched, and I said, people to talk to are accounting, because of course if they have a lease, they're probably getting money, and they can't find anywhere for the past 10 years where they've been paid. So if anybody's been using it, that must have slipped through the cracks. They're willing to sign an affidavit that there is no lease involved in these 2 properties.
Like 60 years.
Well, that and the fact that I don't see any cars there.
Yeah.
So I do see cars all over the Luciani lot, and I see the people leaving the Paul Mitchell Academy and going to their cars over there. But no, I see no interplay here. I see almost an empty lot, by and large. One car in the back, one car in the front.
Okay. Rob, you have 2 questions?
I was more concerned about the pinch point, but it sounds like you're willing to work on that. I still want to know that it's gonna work, and kind of how many spots will be lost. I also noticed, and this is, you guys probably have an idea, but when I looked at the drawings and the totals of the number of spaces, it didn't match what the numbers were listed here. Like I'm looking at Ken's next to mine, it says 4 spaces and there's like 5, I think, or something. So as long as you guys have a clear idea of the total, I'd be okay with it. But it just wasn't clear looking at these. It didn't look like the number matched what I read on the drawing unless I'm reading it wrong. I don't know.
We can check it, again, we have to adjust it anyway, so it's kind of not gonna matter. But we had 10 on this side and 10 on this side is what it turned out to be. And
Show it a little better. I mean, there's a bunch of spaces that aren't full spaces, so I wasn't really counting those, but I think when our AutoCAD guy drew it, he kind of said, oh, there's 5 spaces, and we weren't really counting the half spaces.
Good evening. The
That's
North
right.
Haven
It's a little
Library
bit of
will
a
be closing in 15 minutes. Please begin to make your final selections for checkout at this time. Thank you.
Alan, does the back cover all the spots though? It seems like the back addresses all the parking requirements. Is that?
I think it does, and I think they have many more spaces than per the table in 8.5.1.6. I think they exceed that by possibly 100%. So there are many spaces.
That to me is the big advantage of the site that they have, is they have a lot more spaces than they need. So the fact that, you know, we're gonna have to make some changes circulation-wise, we've gotta add the islands in, that's part of the regulations, that's required. But, I mean, I think fortunately you've got the spaces to be able to sacrifice to get to that point, so, you know, but I think we got a little ways to go here.
so what we'd like to do is after, again, we got these comments Friday, had a conversation earlier today, and, you know, obviously what we would actually like to propose to do would be to, again, dress up the front with the islands that, you know, so we'd like to put one, we'd like to dress this island up here, we'd like to dress this one up here, you know, make that a little bit bigger, and then put one in here. We really didn't want to do anything here, but if we wanted to, we could do one here.
Yeah. You know,
The problem is the regulations specifically call for an 8-foot planted island with a tree at either end of all parking rows.
you know,
So, and that's not something that the commission really, you know, something the commission really wants to see on every application.
rather than try to point them out to us here, you might want to be thinking to redraw this and consult with our land use and our town engineer. And you could get this thing worked out the way it might be a little more satisfactory to the commission.
I think that would definitely be our next step. I mean, so we are hoping to keep the timeline moving, that was the only thing, but as far as agreeing to islands and things like that, I would say.
But the other thing with the islands itself is, again, as it exists right now, you virtually have none. Well, you have the 2 in the front, you have this little one right here. We really would prefer not to do anything here. I don't know if there's a way to not add islands here and here.
No.
Again,
No, I think you really should work it out with our staff.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what the commission thinks about, Brian.
You made a comment
Yeah.
earlier about how you wanted it to look good. Nothing that I see there now gives me any indication that you want that property to look good. You know,
Right.
it's
I
not,
think
there's no love there.
It's definitely the
It's
front
not
of
taken
the
care of.
lot where we
Yeah.
think customers will come in, they'll park in the front, they'll get out, they'll walk out.
But you're showcased right on Washington Avenue, okay?
Without a doubt.
And you drive by there and there's dead trees, there's unmanicured lawn. What makes us think that you're going to take care of it down the road because you're gonna put a couple of tables out front? And the other question I have is, what about the dead space on the south side where you can put a patio there and not interfere with anything?
Right. Well, you said the truck's back in there.
Well, they
I
can't
don't
go in
get-
there.
No, I know that.
Because there's a gas meter and there's some other things blocking that. That's blocked off. You can't use that area?
This is the loading area to get product in and out of the building.
In the back, in the very back, but not that
To the
area.
side. It's a side entrance, there is no back door.
Yeah. So that's,
How far off that back corner is that door? Oh, maybe it's on the elevation. Okay. I've got, I didn't bring my architect scale, sorry, it's an engineering world. But, okay, so it is back a bit, but if I look at,
it's approximately 6 feet.
I mean, I think the thought is when you go, you almost want to sit out front. You don't really want to go around to the side of the building. That's
Okay.
not a great place to go around any.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
But
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 we
the
can
thing is
definitely
that-
dress up the front of the building, add some islands and trees, and I think that's what the owner's intention is, so somebody can sit out there and enjoy it.
Well, I think we definitely want to see that look, right? What's your
Right.
vision with that? Because
You know,
like the satellite picture from above, it just, that whole spot's ugly. And, you know, this is our opportunity for you guys to showcase the spot. And these are some things I'd like to see what your vision entails with that greenery and things like that.
no, you have these concrete planters,
yeah,
so that could act like a barrier.
I think that's what they were positing.
Yeah.
But, you know, one thing that sort of omitted, that I think Ken is referencing in a way, and Paul, I see the concrete planters. What's gonna go in the planters? So, we got islands last time, they were smaller, but, you know, okay, we had some islands, but it's simply not maintained. Are there annuals, perennials, what would go in the planters might be something that they'd like to see. So appreciate the sort of shielding effect that might have to someone, you know, seated on the patio.
I mean, the reality of whatever you put in is, I'll just call them annuals, because in the winter, they're pretty much gonna be dead. So, you know, again, as far as the owner or the leasee decides to do with it, you know, that's gonna be more up to what they want to do. But yes, the weed planters, again, they're trying to make this a showcase for edible arrangements, is actually what they're trying to do. And again, this is the sort that they've chosen, and that's why they're doing a facelift and adding the seed.
you think you might want to ask to continue this the next month? Give you an opportunity to put something on paper, so we would have a full site plan?
Absolutely.
As far as some direction is concerned, though,
You can ask for that.
Vern, when Andy and I meet with them, we're looking for a little direction, say, on two things.
They're gonna work with you all month.
Oh, okay. And as, you know, on behalf of the commission, let's just look at the islands a little bit. I know in the past, when we've had a situation down on Giles Avenue, the areas of the property that were being renovated or worked on were areas where the commission required islands and trees. And I didn't know, you have the authority to ask for whatever you want. You've already stated you like to see the islands in the back and in the front.
Yes, but, okay.
Is there some greater value they might have in the front? And my second question involves the location of that dumpster. They like to slide it towards the rear of the site. I've got a real problem with it being in the corner. That right-of-way that goes by, we're gonna be blocking line of sight, and I don't think it's the nicest thing necessarily to do to the neighbors. So, you would like the dumpster to stay right where it is? Can they get it out
Maybe-
5 feet,
Maybe
6
not as
feet?
far.
No, it needs to come back a little bit, but not, we don't wanna see the dump in the middle of the yard. You know, those are things you can, we got plenty of time to work that out.
Well, also-
Rather than just say there, it could be much closer, and the parking could be at a 90-degree angle on that side all the way along, so you have all the parking you need. You'd be able to get at the back door, or whatever that is, that you get there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Right,
guess,
we'd only actually need a couple spaces right here and be satisfied what's
yeah,
needed.
the biggest, the biggest concern with what Alan is saying and what we were trying to do is technically, we want the parking in the front for the customers, obviously. We have enough parking in the back that we don't need any parking in the front.
Okay.
So, but we want the customers to come in the front door. So, again, it's the islands in the back where we're not.
Good evening. The North Haven Library will be closing in 5 minutes. Please bring all items to checkout at this time. Thank you.
Sorry, so the real issue is the islands in the back where we're not physically we're moving the dumpster pad. We're not really enhancing this part of the property at all. So we'd really prefer to not have to, as Amy said, put an island in the front and in the back of each one of these. But we're more than willing to work with the commission to come to something.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
One second, Brian. Rob, you got any questions? Anything to add here?
I mean, it would be great if something could be done in the back, because, you know, it's like a holistic site thing, but,
I mean,
Brian?
Yeah, a couple of things. One is currently you have 2 dumpsters, but only an enclosure that fits one. So you might want to think about what that, wherever you're going to move the dumpster, that would fit both, because we do a lot of recycling now and whatnot. So usually a couple of dumpsters rather than just one as it used to be. And another thing I wanted to check with Andy, those containers out front with the flowers in them, are they heavy enough to act as bollards? Or should there be bollards maybe within them?
The ones they're showing on
Yeah,
the.
because if you're gonna have people sitting out front, people are just, you know.
I mean, it's similar to what 12% Brewery did. Remember
Yeah,
when
sorry.
COVID came about and they basically bumped a patio onto their parking lot? It's essentially the same thing they did. They put the big planters. But I mean, a big planter like that that's completely full of soil, you know.
All right.
If you're going 40 miles an hour into the parking lot, you
Yeah,
may have
you've
a
got a
problem.
problem.
But if somebody's just backing their car up, you know, they may crack the planter, but I don't think they're gonna kill anybody back there.
People sitting out there.
I'd like to
Right.
see a little more definitive information about how it's gonna be landscaped and how it's gonna be
Yeah, I would,
maintained. You know, we have, if you come down that street at certain times of the year and you have all the flowering trees and bloom, and then you have a little void there, then it starts again. So I just, again, it's our main thoroughfare, and it's a showcase. And you want it to be a showcase, I assume, so, but it's gotta be, it really should have a wow factor to it, look nice.
And I do respect what you're saying, Mike, about it kind of depends on the tenant, but the one thing is, if Gary drafts in a note that says annuals in certain other flowers or types of plants would go in those, we have a section in our reg that requires perpetual care, and they would be obligated at that point, you know, to do that. So it can work,
And you should wanna do that anyway, make it look.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of
Right.
doing all this
Is that-
into it.
Does that
and-
wind up your presentation?
that it does, and so at this point, we take to ask for continuance next month. That's okay.
Yep.
Okay. Alan,
I was just gonna ask
Okay.
one
we'll take that
question.
deliberation, we'll take a vote on that.
Does the DOT need to be involved in approving anything? That we're not changing the curb cut, we're not doing anything out there?
I mean, that's entirely up to them, really. I mean,
Okay, so they
if you're
need
not
to sign
physically, if you're not physically proposing anything, then I don't know why you would need an encouragement permit for them. So, you know, that's pretty much it.
Right, the only thing we're adding is the stop bar and that kind of stuff.
Right,
So I guess we
right.
should-
I mean, I guess my request for you, just coordinate with them. You know, if they want something, then give it to them, you know?
Is that good?
That's good, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Okay. Where are we now? We're on change of use. I guess we'll take the change of use now, Darren? That you go into deliberation, take the change of use now.
Let's go into delivery.
So you don't want to do other, as it would be arranged on the agenda? I'm okay with it though, Vern, if you want to.
Should we do it right in the deliberation? Yep. Okay, let's do other. 295 Mill Road. You have a friend to my right. I didn't realize you were sitting there waiting for me. I'm sorry. State your name.
Joe Tomaselli, Tommaselli, and with facilities for ACES.
Carrie Gilmore, Gilmore, Principal, ACES Mill Road School. Want me to start?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So Mill Road School, with the help of our grant department, applied for a $50,000 grant this school year through the Department of Agriculture to have a program from garden to table with our students. Right now, we have a family consumer science program within our school. Our school is K through 8, with about 133 students right now. So really looking to enhance our family consumer science program, providing students opportunity to be able to grow some of the vegetables or fruits that they may be cooking with on site and use them within the cooking program. One of the things that we were awarded with the grant was a greenhouse, and that's where Joe comes into play. So you want to talk a little bit about the greenhouse?
Yes, the greenhouse is a kit from Home Depot. It's 9 by 21. And the proposed location is there. It's a picture of the greenhouse. It's no foundation, just it's on the ground. It's not a foundation or anything.
Looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it still looks nice. Yeah, that's why we went with one that's pre-fab, not something we build ourselves, and we don't want eyesores.
Where exactly are you gonna place that?
It's gonna go in the front as a garden area. There's a picture here where you see like the American flag palette, and that's the whole garden area. It's a little shed. It's gonna go next to that little area right there.
Right?
I think this is great. Good to see you.
Okay.
I like it too.
Okay. Paul, Brian?
I think it's a great idea. Just one question. They delivered that assembled or you assembled?
No, we have to assemble. We have our maintenance department.
That looks real nice.
We give them a week to do it.
I like it. It says it's made of plastic, right?
Yeah, it's a.
When you cook these meals, like connect to the public community.
I think that.
Okay. Everybody set?
Yes,
Done? Okay, thank you very much, folks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
They'll do a formal vote momentarily, but
Okay, 60 Dodge Ave.
Hi, hello. Doe Feinmesser, Feinmesser, for Newman Architects, representing Schneider Electric at 60 Dodge Avenue. They are currently in the process of renovating the warehouse to move in. Their goal is to move in at the end of this month, beginning of July, to start production at the warehouse. They're not doing manufacturing, they're doing mostly assembly there of Schneider Electric equipment, it's electrical equipment. And through conversations with United Illuminating, we've found that the equipment that is desired requires a larger transformer than the transformer that was initially at the building. We asked to upgrade the equipment that was there. United Illuminating came out to review the site and determined that they were not happy with the location of the transformer. It's in a location that they feel that they can no longer service, on top of which it is a transformer that is no longer in service. So they want us to replace it with a new transformer. And so after a lot of discussion with the property owner and with United Illuminating, a new location for the transformers that meets their stringent new requirements in terms of access and control for maintenance has been selected. The new location is the location where previously there was a dumpster on the site, so no parking is displaced, and the location was previously occupied by another piece of equipment, which is no longer needed by Schneider Electric, so it's being removed, and that is it. Hopefully that covers everything.
Sort of sounds like
Okay.
smooth.
So there's more than one transformer?
That is correct. There are two transformers, two different service sizes. They are replacing two transformers that were in a previous location. One of the two transformers in the previous location is to remain. The reason is it services another client at the same location. And so as not to disrupt their service and activities, that service is remaining, and United Illuminating has agreed to that because we're not touching that transformer at all.
Now, is that gravel adequate for having those transformers on there, or should it be a board pad?
No, there's no too many issues with gravel.
There is a pad.
There are two pads. The
Yeah.
transformers are sitting on pads. The gravel is
Okay.
just
Gravel,
around
yeah.
for drainage. That's the reasons there. United Illuminating said that.
That's a standard slotted pad for each one, I would guess.
Yes, yeah, it's a prefab pad that comes in.
Okay.
Right?
I'm good, thanks. Set.
Right?
I'm good.
I'm good too.
Good enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
69 Defco Park Road.
Hi, Amy McGuire, Service Station Equipment, on behalf of Ruscombe Barton, 69 Defco Park Road. They currently have a 8,000-gallon underground storage tank for diesel fuel, for fueling their delivery trucks. That tank is due to expire coming this spring. They would like to convert to 100% above-ground system. They would like to install an 8,000-gallon Convault above-ground tank with all above-ground piping, new fuel management system, new tank monitoring system, across from where the existing underground tank is, allowing them to currently use their underground tank, fuel their vehicles while the new station is being built. And then we will remove their existing system, do a closure report, close the tank completely with the state, and they're good for, many, many more years with a new fueling station, 100% above ground.
You're gonna totally remove the old
Yes.
tank, not abandon in place?
No, the tank will be removed, piping will be removed, dispenser, and cleaned up, backfilled with clean imported material.
You answered my question already. Brian?
Yeah, just one question. The fire chief's comments, he doesn't get this. This is another, what?
Yeah, that's correct. They cannot pull a permit until the fire marshal signs off on it.
So he's gonna be involved at some
He's in the
point?
loop, absolutely, yes.
Very good, thank you. That's good.
He will also be in the loop for the removal of the below ground.
Yes, we work very closely with the fire marshals in everything that we do, so.
He's there when you pull the soil sample.
Yep, he's there, they'll always like to be there when we pull the tank, they like to see the tank come out. They get a copy of the closure report, they give it their blessing.
Roger?
I don't have any questions, thanks.
Ken?
I do not have any questions either.
Mark?
The area the existing tank and service pumps are, you're gonna restore that, what is that area gonna be used for, and how is it gonna be finished off? Is it gonna be?
It'll be repaved, and there's currently parking over the underground storage tank pad now.
Okay.
And the dispenser is very close to the building, so it won't impact, there won't be any changes, paved over and parking.
Staff?
Yeah, I just like to say, it just looks like a lot better spot to put the tank than the existing spot.
Yeah, they
Existing
have-
spot's kind of tucked in a small parking lot. This is kind of in the back, a lot more circulation.
Yeah,
around
they
it, so.
have, they fuel their own vehicles, the drivers don't fuel them, so it's a little cleaner, it's a little neater, it's in and out much more easily than what they have now, for sure.
That other tank was put in quite some time ago, and I believe their operations have changed since that time. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody good? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we're gonna go on to change of use. 87 Pontiac.
Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Coronel.
Speak up a little bit.
My name is Rebecca Coronel. It's Coronel. I'm here to talk about the change of use for 87 Quinnipiac Avenue, which I'm aware that it was a restaurant slash bar. I want to change it to services of money transfer to other countries, and also a small convenience store which will sell like beverages, snacks, and stuff like that. That's basically it. I talked to the owner already. The place has new paint. The floors are new. There's AC, there's a heater, there's a bathroom. There's 2 exits, one in the front and one in the back. The parking space, I believe, is around 9 to 10, which is shared with another business, is a hardware store next to us.
Okay, you've looked at the inside of the building, I'm sure everything is satisfactory the way it is in there?
Yes.
In the building now. What about the exterior of the building?
The exterior is totally fine too. There's some spaces next to us which are not completely like construction, it's not 100%, but he's the owner, so he has not rented those out, and I'm pretty sure he's not gonna change anything. But
When are you planning to go in there to start moving in there, operation in there?
well, if we do get the permit to change it, we will want to start this month to start with my accountant to get the permit to sell and stuff.
Okay.
So if you're looking at the building, it's to the right, where the cleaner
Yes.
used to be. And there's a driveway that goes through from Quinnipiac to Middletown Avenue there.
Yeah, there's a whole driveway across, yes.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the property. Are they gonna do anything to pretty it up a little bit? It's kinda,
Like the outside?
yeah, that whole building is kinda,
Yeah.
I need some love. Here I go again. This.
Did we not have this discussion recently when there's somebody else wanted at the other end of the building?
I'm sorry?
I said, we had a similar discussion, not to your fault, but somebody else wanted to be on the other end of the building, and we talked about them being leery of the landlord and the potholes in the parking lot and the exterior of the building. And nothing's been done.
We'll talk about that right now, right?
We'll just speak to the fire on that letter that we sent her, had them say, because we wanted them to do certain things, paint, asphalt.
And we're looking out for you, by the way. This is-
Yeah, no, I understand. The only thing I know that's been done outside is the parking spots have been painted over with white paint. That's all I know that's been changed.
About a year ago, with that change of use that was ultimately approved, the owner of the property had sent me an email indicating he would do 3 things, and a copy of that email is coming at you.
Dated September 23, just for the record.
Yeah, exactly. So I will say, this is a property that has bounced a little bit back and forth. They've been on the blight rolls and they've come off of the blight rolls, and they recently came back off. But my inspection indicated there are a lot of potholes on the south side of the parking lot. If you look at the building on Quinnipiac Avenue to the right, and a lot of folks use that to pass through from Middletown Avenue to Quinnipiac Avenue or vice versa. They have painted or repainted portions of the building. The wisdom of painting brick eludes me, but it's a continuing problem there where the paint, he'll paint it and it'll peel back off again. Perhaps they could speak with someone in the paint store there. Maybe they could get a little better adhesion, if you will. But on top of that, there's just, I go out there and I look, and there's 4 tires, on the property just laying on the north side. There's trash, there's cardboard boxes. Oddly enough, there's a paint can on the south side of the building as well. So a lot of those things are what keeps causing it to go on the blight rolls, to be cited for blight, and then he'll do a certain amount of work and come back off of it.
Well, hold on a second. Russ, any question?
I feel like you have enough space inside for what you want to do. Do you have enough space?
Yes, it's not a big space that we need. Mostly the main point of the business is the money transfer, and with that it's just a computer, so we don't need a lot of space.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't know if we can attach conditions to one of these, but it sure would be nice to, hold something over the.
I'm gonna try to do
Well,
that.
I think,
Yeah.
I would posit that you can, because this young lady is here tonight with a change of use form. A change of use form is effectively a due diligence form for staff to determine process. The commission has been very nice in the last 15 years or so, and you've done a lot of work on the basis of a change of use form. And if you felt the use didn't require exterior revisions, you've approved them. The reg says in 10.1.3, if you're gonna change the use, a site plan application is required. Okay, I'm not saying that they have a totally interior use that's just solid retail, doesn't require any special loading, any other provisions. But in my opinion, you could attach certain conditions to it in terms of the cleanup of that property, such as would be characteristic of a site plan application.
Well, I'm gonna try to do that right now. This is not gonna hold you up for very long if the landlord cooperates. I'm gonna try to approve this, and I'll make a motion to approve this. When the commission gets a schedule of when he's gonna start and when he's gonna finish the outside, is to clean it up, paint the building, take the pictures, the old cleaner pictures, and what is that? What is in that window? What is inside the window there, Al? There was a cleaner there for years ago, I guess, and it's still sitting in the window. We take that out, paint the building, and clean the place up.
And it still has that little sign there. Taken up. See, we're trying to clean up that area. That area is hasn't been the best for North Haven. And we have Covidian, which is a great company that would probably go, the customers of yours probably. And they're gonna put $1 billion with a B in that facility over the next 5 years. And I'm sure that they would like to see everything nice and clean in that whole area when their employees are driving to work, leaving, coming to and from work. But we've had issues with this, as Alan had said, it goes on the blight list, off the blight list, on the blight list, off the blight. Just think of you. Here, and we want it to be, to look nice. You don't want to go in there and have all sorts of issues because the building.
We want you to
drives the customers away.
What happens here, and I hope we can get her in there as quickly as possible. I know you want to do that, but the thing is,
In deliberations, though?
a matter of consideration, I guess if you call that we approve this, the landlord gets a rent, but then he doesn't do anything. So he's actually a winner in this for not doing anything.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so we've got to hold his feet to the fire somehow, some way. But to do that, we'd have to hurt somebody, a business person.
I'm not gonna hurt anybody.
No, I know, but to really do it, yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Well, We're gonna,
We'd be hurting her by not doing what we're.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they have an interest in opening this place up and getting rent, you know, so I think that there, hopefully that'll be enough of a
so what?
incentive.
What I'd like to do is that we get to the landlord, the person we want to reach, and to let him know that you have an approval to go in. When we get this, the scope of what he's going to do to the building, which is gonna be what I told you, to clean it up, to paint it, to do the pavement, get those windows cleaned up, get the whole place cleaned up, and make it look, patch the holes in the pavement, and get it so it's usable. It's just, it's unacceptable the way it is.
So-
But you, will try to get you an approval tonight to go in when we get the schedule,
Okay.
okay?
So you want them to paint the, all four sides of the building?
Yes,
And you'd like them to repair all of the potholes?
Yes.
You'd like them to remove all of the litter, debris, et cetera, chattel, what have you, that's on the outside?
yes, I'm
Okay.
like especially, you know.
And you want them to blank out that, the sign that Paul had mentioned, the Broadway cleaners, half the face board is there and half is
Yeah.
gone.
Well,
If you
that
could just
was-
put up a blank one, I mean, that,
You know, okay, but this is gonna be good for you as, you know, the town and the area. We want the whole place to be cleaned up a little bit, but that's why we're doing this.
Okay.
You know, we did this before, as a matter of fact, we have a letter from him that he was going to do this some time ago, which he hasn't done.
Okay.
But hopefully to get you around, he'll do it.
You'll do it, okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Anything else in the commission? Anybody? No. Anything?
No, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Then, if you have a problem, come back and see our staff.
Okay, I will. All right.
See Alan.
Go see Alan.
He's the guy. Okay. Okay, where are we now? Deliberation?
I think so.
Okay, is there a motion to move to deliberation?
I move to go into deliberation.
Thank you, second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first thing is the 102 Middletown Avenue. When we looked at the plan that he gave us, the site plan, and we got an idea of what they want to do there, and what is the commission thinking? Brian?
Well, that place has been in deplorable condition for years and years and years. And they'd like to put in a convenience store and a gas station. And at one point in time, there was a convenience store and a gas station there, and it seemed to work out until it went bust, so to speak. So they have a traffic study that shows it will be okay. I think we should approve this.
Okay. Paul?
I'm in agreement with Brian, and I do think it could be, if you look at the plan, it could be a little bit tight, but it's workable.
Okay. Right.
I think they did a good job with the tight spot. There's not a lot of room there. And I guess I'm a little bit concerned about the trucks, but it's coming in to deliver fuel, but it looks like it'll work out. So I think it's a good proposal.
Ken?
I'm happy with it too, especially the visual of the way it's going to look really 1,000 times better than it does today, right?
I was impressed
You
when I
know,
saw that.
I think it's.
Okay, I'm in agreement. Andy, will you work with them a little bit?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
To make sure that we get the necessary turn radius that we need there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough site, and I guess the way I sort of look at it is, what else you gonna put in there? You know? It'd be nice to see something go in there and clean that whole corner up. I mean, that's kind of a gateway into North Haven.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
if we get that in there and we get the building that this young lady wants to go into cleaned up.
Yeah, it'll definitely help. Yeah.
It'll put a facelift on that whole corner.
Yep, without question. Yeah, I'm not thrilled with the site, but the site is what it is.
It's what it is,
you know,
what it is.
I think from an operations standpoint, it's gonna be a bit complicated. So as long as the owner is up for that challenge, I think,
I think the hardest thing is if the customers don't like the way it flows, they're gonna shop somewhere else.
yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, we have our thoughts there. Can I get them?
I didn't have who moved and who seconded.
No, we didn't take, I didn't take.
Oh, I,
Okay.
that's why I said to myself, are we going to the next thing? Sorry.
Can I get a motion to approve, Rod?
Okay, thank you.
I move to approve the application.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Rod and Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Okay, we're over on to, well, this is on 101 Washington Avenue. They asked for continuance. Get a motion to continue.
I'll make a motion to continue 101 Washington Avenue for next month.
And,
I will second that.
okay, thank you. A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, continue. Okay, we'll go down to 295 Mill Road. The school wants to put up the, whatever that is.
Green nose.
Yeah, anything about that? Get a motion to approve the way it was presented?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Dodge Avenue, 60 Dodge Avenue. They want to put a fuel, no, the electric, they want to put electric pads, 2 electric pads, I believe, in there.
Relocate 2 transformers.
Well, okay. That's it. Can I get a motion to approve it as it was presented?
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Ken second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 69 Dodge Avenue. They want to put in.
Devco Park.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Echo Park.
Devco Park.
Oh, Defco Park, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the new fuel tank for 69 Defco Park Road.
Above ground, yeah, the above ground.
The above ground tank is.
He makes a, I got a motion. Can I
I'll
get-
second it.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And we have a change of use, which is 87 Quinnipiac Avenue. And I take a motion to approve this with the condition that the landlord gives us a starting and finishing date as to the cleanup, the painting of the building, getting the windows cleaned up, whatever's in the windows, and the pavement being patched. Is there anything else that I missed?
The sign.
The sign. Okay, that's all in disapproval.
In the garbage.
Yeah, the debris.
Yeah,
Clean up.
Yeah, to clean up.
okay. Can I get a motion to approve that?
I will move it with those conditions.
Okay, I have a motion with the condition. Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anything else come before the commission?
Yes, bonds,
Say again?
bonds.
Boundaries.
Oh, bonds, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andy, please.
Okay, so the first one on the list, P2320, 36 Broadway. They're all set. About 6 weeks ago, 2 weeks before the last meeting, I told them that they needed to put a handicap parking sign out in front of their handicap parking spot. I was hoping they were gonna do that. Well, we were ready for the last meeting, meeting got canceled. They still have not done that. So I'm going to withdraw that from my request for bond release until they put the damn sign up.
Good enough.
There you go.
How about
And then
346 State?
346 State, all right. So 346 State, and you guys have seen 346 State many times. It's
This is
been
an
in-
old one?
What's that?
This is an old one?
Yeah, this is an old one. So I made a few copies. That's the approved site plan. The issue that I've got is this little parking island out in front. Okay, so the approved plan shows that it's to be grass
And they put paper.
so this is what they did. I mean, I think it looks nice, but it's not what was on the approved plan. You know, I mean,
It's a little different. It's paper. Like you say, so, very different, huh?
You don't have to cut it or order it.
You know, so from my perspective, I don't have a problem with, you know, I mean, I think it looks attractive, it's not a nuisance or anything. There's a lot of things that have gone on that site, and a lot of changes over the years, and I've kind of gone through kind of each part of the site, and everything pretty much checks out, except for that.
We
So,
wouldn't want to have them change that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you want them to rip all that out and put a bunch of shrubs in, we could do that, but, you know.
It doesn't really affect the water runoff in that
No,
point.
no, it's such a small little area, you know. So that's why I figured it was appropriate for me to bring it in and at least discuss that part with you. If you guys are good with it, you know, I'm good with the bond release, so.
You're good with it?
Yeah, and there's two bonds that were being held. And again, these were just bonds that had just been hanging out there. There's one for 5,000, there's one for 2,500, so I was looking to eliminate both of those
Ken,
bonds.
just curiosity, the trip hazard with the
Yeah.
does not
What
follow
else would we
the
do, put
pavers here?
planters on it, or?
Is that an issue?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe slightly.
But, I just think about the handicap, and now they have no ramp, and.
Yeah, I mean, technically, somebody should really be walking on a patio, should be on the sidewalk, but, you know, you got a good point.
I just have to say, I really bothers me when people say they're gonna do something and then they don't do it. When they say they're gonna put grass and they put this, that's not grass.
I have a
Sometimes when we
feeling-
approve it, we have this vision and see
Right.
it bothers me.
I have a feeling what
It's
happened
the way
out
that
there.
they don't like it.
Yeah, no, I have a feeling what happened out there is they probably had grass out there when they initially had built it. And then over the years, they, you know, they made a decision, hey, this doesn't look great, let's throw some pavers in.
How
And I
old,
think that's
how
really.
old is this thing?
I think 2014 is, 2014, 2013 applications, so.
It's probably new
10
irrigation.
years ago.
One from '09.
Remember those little
They
trees?
held them up on the trees.
You got a
13 and 14.
Okay.
It's not like he was cutting across, because it's a lot easier to throw some dirt.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's grass, right, exactly.
I don't like it either, but, so that's a.
We got the bond. Can I get, that's it for the bond?
Yeah, and I would say act on both of them at the same time, because they're really kind of joined together. you know. Yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve 346 State Street and 346 State Street?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay,
Good.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
okay, can I get a second?
I'll make a second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Very good.
That's for both, correct?
That, okay, anything else that I missed? Okay, get a motion to adjourn.
No,
No.
wait, minutes. You did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You did the
I
galactic.
did miss the minute. I did, can I get a motion to approve April 1 minutes, 2024?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I will second that motion.
Second?
Me.
Brian did.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now, I know I'm not safe, so I'm motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.